7 years after Cell was defeated, the Earth is still in a time of peace. We open on Gohan, as he is on his way to his new high school in Orange City. Since Hercule was never given the credit of defeating Cell, Orange City wasn't renamed to Satan City. It doesn't mean Hercule isn't popular though, since he still is the World Martial Arts Champion. He has some popularity. He just isn't as popular as he normally would be since he isn't seen as the hero of Earth. Anyway, when Gohan arrives in Orange City, he notices an ongoing robbery. So, he would turn into a Super Saiyan and easily stop the robbers. After he reverts to his base form, he's confronted by a girl asking what happened. He claims he didn't see it, though an onlooker says that it was Golden Warrior and that he wore a badge of the Orange Star High School, which she also goes to. Later in class, when Gohan arrives, Erasa still invites him to sit by her, so she would still introduce him to Videl and mention that her dad is Hercule. After they started talking, Videl would recognize him from being there at the robbery and mention how the Golden Warrior was wearing the same outfit. But since he isn't blonde and he looks weak, she doesn't think he is the Golden Warrior. Regardless, they eventually find out where Gohan is from, which shocks him since they were 5 hours away by plane. Later, when they go to play baseball in gym class, Gohan tries to make himself look bad so he doesn't draw attention to himself. Though to catch the ball, he ends up jumping way farther in the air than a normal person can. Anyway, after school, Videl tried following Gohan, but he jumped onto the top of a building to avoid her before taking the Flying Nimbus to go see Bulma. He only wanted to see her so that he could ask her for help in getting a disguise for himself. After arriving at Capsule Corporation, Bulma agreed to make him the disguise. While she was making it, he went and talked with Yamcha and Trunks, but they went back to training shortly afterwards. Regardless, after getting the suit, he thanks Bulma and leaves. He decided to test out wearing it as he had been challenged with Flying Nimbus to a race, but while they were flying over Orange City, he seen people speeding. He tried stopping them and introduced himself as the Great Saiyaman, but they thought he was joking. Then once he stomped a hole into the road out of annoyance, they left. The next day, when they were in class, Gohan noticed Videl leaving early, so he asked Erasa about it. After she explained that she helps the police, Gohan still worried that she was getting in over her head, so he decided to follow her. After changing into his Great Saiyaman outfit, he took off and caught up to her. She was beating down the one robber, but when one tried to shoot her from behind, Gohan arrived and knocked the gun out of his hands. He then introduces himself as the Great Saiyaman, so he calls Videl by name and says to handcuff them, so she realizes that he's Gohan. Regardless, the robbers try to flee, but Gohan easily flies after them and catches them. After they were caught, Videl tricked him into revealing his identity by asking how he snuck out of class, which he answered her without thinking. On their way back to school, she asked him if he was going to join the upcoming World Martial Arts Tournament, but he said no. Something to mention is that since the World Martial Arts Tournament still happened every 3 years in this timeline, that means the upcoming tournament is the 29th World Martial Arts Tournament. Hercule has been the champion of the 27th and 28th tournaments, which helped lead to his popularity. Anyway, she would still realize that Gohan was the son of the previous champion Goku, so she would think it would be interesting to see the current champion's daughter go against the previous champion's son in the tournament. Though she also blackmails him that if he doesn't join, she will reveal his identity, so he reluctantly agrees to join the tournament. Anyway, they decide to return to class separately, but before Gohan changes back to his normal outfit, she also forces him to teach her how to fly. After class, Gohan goes back to Capsule Corporation to get something to replace the helmet, since it can't be worn in the tournament, though Bulma just ends up giving him sunglasses and a bandana. Anyway, when Yamcha overhears that Gohan is entering the tournament, he decides to enter as well, for old time's sake. Regardless, he then returns home, which is when he tells Goku and Chi-Chi about joining the upcoming tournament. Of course, the two of them would decide to join as well, and they would suggest that Gohan should go tell Roshi, Krillin, and Tien so that they'll join as well. He goes to Kame House first, and Krillin agrees to join, though 18 also joins after she hears about the prize money. Next, he goes to the lookout, where he tells both Roshi and Piccolo about the tournament, so they join as well. Lastly, he would go to Tien's martial arts school and tell both him and Shatsu, so they agree to join too. The next day, the scene of Gohan helping Goten train wouldn't happen, since Goten was already trained by Goku and Gohan over the years. This also means that it wouldn't be a shock to him if Goten already unlocked Super Saiyan. Regardless, the bell would arrive, so Gohan would begin his training of teaching her how to fly. After the end of their first day of training, he suggests that she should cut her hair short so that it doesn't get in the way. This angers her and she leaves, but she still shows up the next day with short hair. Anyway, all the heroes would start to train in preparation for the tournament, though Hercule didn't train for it, as he was arrogant enough to think he had this tournament in the bag. When the day of the tournament arrived, everyone went to it together, though Goku, Gohan, and Goten all agreed not to go Super Saiyan so that the other heroes could have a chance. Though, they also might limit themselves to not using the Kaioken either, just to make it more interesting. Once everyone arrives, they meet up with Piccolo there, since he chose to go there separately. After talking briefly, they all go register for the tournament. The Goten and Trunks were made to join the youth division. Before the preliminaries started, an interviewer tried to talk to Goku and the others, but Piccolo destroyed their cameras. Eventually, the announcer spots Goku and the others and tells him how glad he was to see them, as the tournament has become boring without them. Regardless, 16 of them will go on to the finals, though one of those spots is already taken by Hercule, so only 15 of them can advance. They must use the punch machines, and those with the highest scores will advance to the main tournament. Hercule still comes out to demonstrate, though when spectators start using their cameras, Piccolo destroys them all again so that Gohan's identity stays a secret from people at his school. Anyway, after Hercule does his demonstration, the other heroes use the punch machine, with all of them achieving scores higher than Hercule's. The tournament then begins with the youth division, though it goes the same as it normally does, up until the finals. Both Goten and Trunks would get through their matches with ease, so there isn't any reason to go into detail about them. Their fight would go about the same as usual, with the two being close in power, though instead of Trunks being the one with the slight advantage in power, Goten would have the slight advantage. He only has this advantage since he is half Saiyan, while this version of Trunks is a full human. So, while the match was close, it would end with Goten just barely managing to knock Trunks out of the ring. Now that Goten won, he gets to face Hercule, so Hercule enters the ring. Anyway, Hercule still throws off his cape and starts to warm up. Then when Goten gets ready, he tries to fake that an old injury of his was acting up, but it didn't work. When they begin to fight, Hercule lets Goten get the first hit, so he is easily knocked out of the ring. However, he gets back up and places off as him letting Goten win, which the audience believes him. Anyway, the heroes then head towards the contestant area so that they can draw lots to see what the matches are. But this is also where they found out that Piccolo entered his name as Ma Jr., since Piccolo would cause a panic. The fighters that passed the preliminary in this timeline are different, since there were more of the heroes participating than normal. This would mean that Mighty Mask isn't in the tournament, so the scene of Goten and Trunks stealing his outfit to be in the adult division wouldn't happen. Regardless, before they go to draw lots, they see a mysterious duo there. They recognize Goku, but he didn't know them, though when asked, they just say that they've heard about him. Piccolo realizes that they aren't from Earth, but anyway, the lottery began, so they stopped thinking about it. After they all drew lots, the matches ended up as follows. Match 1 is Krillin vs Shatsu, Match 2 is Shin vs Ma Jr., Match 3 is Videl vs Spopovich, Match 4 is Kibito vs Great Saiyaman, Match 5 is Hercule vs 18, Match 6 is Goku vs Chi-Chi, Match 7 is Tien vs Yamcha, and Match 8 is Yamu vs Master Roshi. After they head to the waiting room, both Krillin and Shatsu enter the ring. This fight would be like their fight from the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, though Krillin wouldn't use math-related tricks to distract Shatsu. The Shatsu would still use his telekinesis against Krillin. He would eventually be able to break out of this and knock Shatsu out of the ring. Then for the second match, both Shin and Piccolo would enter the ring, but when Piccolo was wondering to himself about who this was, Shin read his mind. He told him that he'll find out and that he should just enjoy the game for now. However, Piccolo forfeits the match because he senses who Shin is. The next match is between Videl and Spopovich, so they both enter the ring. On the sidelines, Roshi likely would have noticed something about Shin as well. So, when Piccolo goes to talk to him, Roshi would tag along. After asking if he is the Grand Kai, Roshi would be able to say Shin isn't as he trained with the Grand Kai, so Kibito reveals that Shin is the Supreme Kai, which shocks them both. After his identity was revealed, Shin asks him to keep his identity hidden. Regardless, Videl's fight against Spopovich would go the same way, with her beating him down at first, but she is soon beaten down instead. However, Yamu stops her from continuing to beat her around, so he kicks her out of the ring. Gohan helps Videl up while Roshi used the Kai Kai to go to Korin's tower and get a sensu bean. While there, Korin warns him to keep on his toes, as he has a bad feeling about this. After he returns, he gives the bean to Gohan, and Gohan gives it to Videl, thus healing her. The next fight is between Kibito and Gohan, though as he enters the ring, his classmates that were in the stands recognize him, so he ditches his disguise, but Kibito then asks him to turn Super Saiyan. Piccolo and Roshi yell at Gohan and nod to signal that they should transform, so Gohan complies and begins to transform. Shin also tells the heroes that no matter what happens, they need to stay put. Gohan decided to go past Super Saiyan and show off what he and Goku unlocked through their training over the last 7 years. So, he turns into a Super Saiyan 2, which shocks the others, as this is their first time seeing it. Yamu and Spopovich then tried attacking him to drain his energy, so Shin used his telekinesis to hold Gohan in place. After draining his energy, Gohan reverted to his base form while Yamu and Spopovich took off. Shin would take off after them, while Kibito stayed behind to heal Gohan. Without Vegeta being around to stop Goku, he, Chi-Chi, and Piccolo would leave right away. Roshi, Yamcha, Tien, and Shatsu would go with him as well, while Krillin wanted to tell 18 first before he left. 18 decided to stay at the tournament since there was no money in chasing after Spopovich and Yamu. Anyway, Kibito then healed Gohan as they then took off together. The Videl went along with them so that she could learn what was going on. Then with Goku and Shin, he went on to explain that the real threat is Babidi, as he is trying to resurrect Majin Buu. With Kibito, Gohan, and Videl, Kibito would explain the same things about Babidi and Buu to them. Gohan still advises Videl to turn around, but before she leaves, She asks if he was the Golden Warrior, which he says yeah, as Gohan and Kibito kept flying away. Videl promised to ask out Gohan if he would come back safe. Regardless, Gohan and Kibito eventually catch up with Shin and the others as they all land to suppress their ki. While spying on Babidi's ship, they see it open as two people come out of it. Babidi and Dabura exit the ship, which Dabura being there is a shock to Shin, as he then explains to the others that Dabura is the king of the demon realm. Anyway, Spopovich and Yamu give the energy they took from Gohan to Babidi, and in return the Warlock causes Spopovich to explode. Yamu then tries to flee, but Pui Pui blasts and kills him. Afterwards, Babidi and Dabura realized the heroes were there, so Babidi left Dabura to handle them, while he and Pui Pui returned to the ship. So, Dabura then charged towards them, which is when they realized that Dabura knew where they were. After rushing in, Dabura would blast Kibito at point-blank range, killing him. He then used his spit on Krillin and Piccolo, turning them both into stone. Dabura then returned to Babidi's ship, while Goku, Gohan, and Roshi chased after him, despite Shin's protest, but he still followed them. The other heroes stayed behind in case anything happened outside the ship and so they could ensure nothing happened to Piccolo and Krillin. Once inside, the exit locks behind them, as Shin lets them know they can't escape until they defeat Babidi. He then sends Pui Pui out to confront the heroes, while he puts the energy Spopovich and Yamu collected into the sealed ball. Though after he saw how much energy Spopovich and Yamu collected, he regretted killing them. Back with the heroes, instead of playing rock paper scissors to decide who goes first, Roshi would step up first, as he wanted to help in protecting the Earth once more. When Pui Pui starts to attack Roshi, he'll be able to easily block his attacks. He then starts beating him down, so Babidi transports them onto Pui Pui's home planet, Planet Zone. Pui Pui thought he would have the advantage because of his planet's gravity being 10 times Earth's, but Roshi trained in that gravity before, so it was nothing to him. So, he then used his Kamehameha, which easily killed Pui Pui. The heroes then descended to the next stage, which is when Babidi sent out Yakon. Goku stepped up to take him on, though Babidi transported them to Yakon's planet, which was completely dark. Even then, Goku managed to dodge his attacks, but he then turned into a Super Saiyan to light up the area. Yakon then absorbed his light energy, which forced Goku to drop back into his base form. However, he tried turning into a Super Saiyan again, so Yakon started to absorb his energy again. He then went into his Super Saiyan 2 form, which caused Yakon to absorb so much of the light energy that he swelled up and exploded. They then descend to the third stage, which is when Dabura decided to take them on himself. Dabura then stepped out, which is when Goku told Gohan it was his turn, so he stepped out to take him on. Back at the World Martial Arts Tournament, since the fighters were mostly the heroes this time around and they left, the only people left in the tournament were Hercule and 18. So, they would step into the ring, and after their fight begins, 18 would likely still get him in a headlock and threaten to defeat him if he didn't give her 20 million zeni. Though without him being at the same height in popularity as he normally is, he doesn't have that amount of money. After hearing this, 18 easily picks him up and throws him out of the arena, thus becoming the next world champion. At this time, Videl would arrive back at the arena, which is when she tells Goten and Trunks what has been going on. They thought this was cool and they wanted to see a Warlock and a Genie, so they took off towards the other heroes. Back at Babidi's ship, Dabura would have Babidi transport himself and Gohan outside. After they were transported outside, their fight began. Gohan would be fighting him as a Super Saiyan, but since he never slacked on his training in this timeline, he would be having an easier time beating down Dabura. Dabura, out of desperation, would try to use his spit against Gohan, but since it just hits his glove, Gohan rips it off before he can turn to stone. Dabura then magically makes a sword, but Gohan easily catches it between his hands and snaps it in half. Without Vegeta being around to interrupt their fight, and knowing they're still having evil in their hearts, he couldn't retreat to Babidi to have him try to take control of them. So, Gohan would start to knock Dabura around, but the Demon King would also be getting in hits of his own. However, when Gohan turns into his Super Saiyan 2, Dabura no longer stands much of a chance against him. He would be pummeling him into the ground, but before Babidi could transport him back to the ship, Gohan would blast him at point blank range and kill him in a similar way that he killed Kibito. With Dabura now killed, Piccolo and Krillin would turn back into their normal selves. Also, since Dabura was killed, back in the spaceship, the hole in the ground would open to the next floor. As Goku, Roshi, and Shin descend to that floor, Babidi would be there waiting for them. Shin would step up to fight Babidi, but so his ship and the sealed ball weren't damaged in the process, Babidi transports all of them outside the ship. When he and Shin begin to fight, their magic abilities would be able to counteract each other. Babidi couldn't do a lot to physically fight Shin, so he would be relying on his magic to stop Shin from being able to do anything to him. But since Babidi would be distracted by Shin, this gives Piccolo the chance to approach him from behind and slice him in half, like he did in the original story. With the Warlock now sliced in half and lying on the ground, Shin uses this chance to finish off Babidi once and for all. Now that Babidi and all his henchmen were taken out, Shin only had to decide what to do with the sealed ball. Roshi would have a brief idea to help Shin, so he would use the Kai Kai to get something from the lookout before returning. He then descended into Babidi's spaceship, and when he exited it, he handed a jar to Shin. He had used the evil containment wave to seal the sealed ball inside of it, so that it would be easier to transport and so that no one could access it. With Shin now having the sealed ball in his possession, he would decide to take it to the sacred world of the Kai to hide it, though he doesn't leave right away, as he would stick around for the heroes gathering the Dragon Balls to revive the people killed by Babidi and his henchmen. Before they gathered the Dragon Balls, Shin would have Babidi's ship destroyed, so Piccolo fired a blast down the entrance to it, thus destroying it. Anyway, they would gather the Dragon Balls at Capsule Corporation and make this wish. Kibito would be revived, so Shin fills him in on what he missed. This is where Shin would have prepared to leave, but he would extend an invitation to Roshi to come train with him. He offered this to Roshi since he trained with the other Kais before. He is the guardian of Earth, and he helped Shin out with transporting the sealed ball. Roshi would take him up on this offer, but he would also suggest that Shin should train Gohan. He might think it is time to pass on the mantle of protecting the Earth to the next generation, as Gohan managed to prove himself by taking out the biggest threat they face today. Shin would be fine with this, though Gohan would convince Shin to take Videl with them too, since he wanted to spend more time with her and continue to help her with her training. So, after discussing this, Shin and Kibito would take Gohan, Videl, and Roshi to the sacred world of the Kais, where they would begin their training under them.